Hello everyone, I hope life's been treating you well. I am Starscream065, and today we're taking a look at the Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Breakdown. First, we'll look at his two accessories. Of course, he comes with the usual hand-foot gun for Combiner Wars. It is purple like the rest of Stunticons, but unlike the rest of Stunticons, half of it is painted. It's not showing up very well on camera, but this piece here and forward is painted lavender, whereas this piece back here is just molded purple plastic. And it is molded to have an engine in here, and sort of looks like Sunstreaker's engine block. And you can peg it in to break down a vehicle mode a number of ways. First, you can take the 5mm port right here on the underside and peg it into the top of the car mode right here. Not terrible, but it's not the greatest look ever. You can also fold the thumb about halfway down, and you got a peg right here on the inside of the thumb, and you got a peg back here in between these two spoilers that won't stay together. And you insert that in, and then you got two pegs right here on the underside of these two blaster pieces, and they will peg in right up here to these two pegs in front of the 5mm post. And there you go. Kind of sort of looks like Sunstreaker, and in fact we will be getting a Sunstreaker repaint and head retool of Breakdown here. So that's cool. And then he also has a gunblade weapon. The blade is done up in a nice silver paint. The rest of it is all black, but it has some nice molding all around. And you have this this peg right here and this slot right here on the door, and you can peg that in like so. And if you remove the hand-foot piece, you can also take the 5mm port right here and plug it in on top like so, if you so choose. Alright, so you have the option. But yes, here we have Breakdown in his pseudo-Lamborghini mode. It's just not Lamborghini enough to warrant a lawsuit. And all around it is very, very nice, and despite the fact that he isn't off-white, it's not too bad. You do have some nice red paint up here with a nice large typographic pecan symbol. And you have some painted tail lights up here. I actually thought this was translucent plastic, but it's indeed paint. You have some silver up here on the grill. You have painted rims. Really, really nice wheels. They're clip-on wheels, but they're very nice and large. Speaking of which, he does roll suitably. So they are clip-on wheels, so he doesn't roll the best. But one problem with Breakdown in this mode is that for about everybody who has them, there's a quality control issue with the back portion of the car, his legs. They don't like to peg together very well. You can see back here, the spoiler won't stay together. And I can peg it back in, but it'll eventually pry itself apart again. And then, as a result, you'll be able to peg the arm here into the side of the leg, but on this side, because this won't go forward far enough, you can't peg this arm in. So fortunately, there is some gappage, but I think it's forgivable because his vehicle mode looks so very good to me. He does have this Tampercraft 15 Racing right here on the windshield. I don't know what that means. I haven't heard anyone say what it means yet, but if you happen to know, please let me know in the comment section down below. And he has a very, very clean underside. You can see the combiner port, and you can see his hands, but other than that, you really can't see his feet or his head. It's hidden up nicely, which is very cool. Alright, for size comparison in this mode, here he is next to Armada Starscream, and Starscream is a bit longer because he's a jet. The Breakdown is a nice large car. Alright, so we'll take him into leg mode, then into arm mode, and then finally into robot mode. So to start, first you want to come up here to the windshield, and you're going to grab it, and it just pegs in right here to the hood, and you're going to bring it back like so. Then you're going to take the entire hood and you're going to bring it back like so. And then you're going to take the combiner port, you're going to wrench it out of the chest like so. Take the hand and foot piece, already in foot mode, and the 5mm port right there, and 5mm peg, and bait the two into one another. And there you have breakdown in his leg mode. And it is a nice leg mode, but unfortunately it's very wide in comparison to off-road, and he has no kneecap or knee guard, I should say. You could conceivably bring Breakdown's foot up and then the windshield with it to kind of give him a bit of a knee plate like off-road had with the hood of his truck mode. But all in all, it doesn't look that bad in person, especially with his Metasaur. Yeah, it's pretty simple, but it works. If you do want to pair Breakdown up with Drag Strip in limb mode, you can bring down Breakdown's feet, that additional 5mm port attached, and you can bring down the spoiler piece here, and then peg the foot in the other 5mm port, and then you have some extra height added to Breakdown's foot that will allow him to line up with Drag Strip when Drag Strip spoiler is in dragster mode configuration. Alright, now we'll take visibility first. It's the usual. You have a nice ratchety joint up here for a knee, and then you have a knee swivel like so, and then the foot can pivot and so on. Alright, now we'll take him into arm mode. Go to start. Just to get him out of the way for now, I'll flip his feet and his spoiler back up, and you're going to leave this down. You're going to take his arms, you're going to peg them from the sides like so. They just peg, and you got this divot right here, and you have this peg right here on his leg. And then you're going to take his legs and then peg them from one another. They'll still stay pegged in right here at this blue piece. You're going to accordion both sides down, and you'll peg them back together again. And they happen to peg together a little better than in arm mode than they did in leg mode and car mode. Then you're going to take the arms, you're going to bring them back down like so. Take the combiner port, bring it down at a 90-degree angle, make him be a left arm for Metasaur. Take his waist, rotate it around, and then take the hand and foot piece, flip out the fingers. Come on. There we are. And then take the hand, bring it down, rotate the thumb to either side, then peg it in like so. You do want to flip the feet down again and the spoiler down, or he will make for a very, very short arm. And then peg that in, and there you got Breakdown in his arm mode. And it is a nice arm mode, but his bulkiness from leg mode does carry over, as he has a very, very stocky forearm here. But it's not bad. Posability, he does have again at the shoulder, the ratchet joint, and a nice swivel there. And then you have the bicep swivel here at the waist, and you have a double jointed knee, ball joints, or double jointed elbow. Got ball joints up here. Then you have some hinge joints right here. So you got about 90 degrees both ways. Now, he does have another configuration for arm mode. You can take the hand and rotate it around, and then rotate his waist around back into car mode, robot mode configuration. And then he has these weird ankle rocker, or not ankle rocker, hip rocker joints up here that are more for transformation than anything else, but you can bring them forward like so to try to evoke what was used in the Generation 1 cartoon for Metasaur, as he would just take his, like Breakdown's arm, for example, and just bring it forward where you think the elbow joint would be in car mode, like so. Because pretty much in Generation 1, Menastor's arms are pretty much just Decepticon's cars slapped on the Motor Master's arms. So, anyhow, now we'll take them into robot mode. Start by removing the hand and foot piece and setting it off to the side. And then we'll come down here and we're going to split his legs at these blue pieces, like so, and then bring his legs back down, and they will peg in to these grooves in here, like so. This blue piece here will flatten, and you might hear a click. Just depends on quality control. Same thing over here. You're going to bring it up, and you're going to slot it in. Just give it a push, and it may or may not click. My left leg for breakdown does not. Alright, then you want to take his hips, and you're going to bring them up without unpegging the legs, like so, so that they're more or less level with one another. Like so. Then you're going to take the arms, bring them out, then come down here to the elbow, and bring them out, extend them out. Take the combiner port, bring it down, like so. Come back here to his back, bring up the hood, and then come down here and you're going to unpeg the bottom of the hood, like so. Bring the hood back down, and then bring this piece back on this hinge. There's a lot of hinges here. And then bring it down, and then take these two slots right here, and they'll peg into these two pegs right here. Peg that in, and you want to make sure that when you bring his arms up that you have enough room. If you don't bring this joint back far enough, these will run into these pieces here and his arms won't lock in. Alright, then you want to bring his arms up. Actually, I didn't do this right. I gotta bring them back again. Alright, let's try this again. Peg it back in, bring this arm up. There we are. You can see his arms will lock in this chest assembly here. There we are. And take his head, rotate it around, and there we have breakdown in his robot. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we have breakdown in his robot mode. And his robot mode is oddly proportioned. It doesn't bother me, but we'll take a look. He has fairly bulky lower legs, but he has next to no thighs, so his legs look quite stumpy. Then he has a rather broad body, and then he has skinny arms. Now, the proportions don't bother me, and from most angles or most poses, I think it actually really works for him. But it is there, and if that bothers you, you're mildly dirty. Alright. Take a look at his head, which is based off the Generation 1 cartoon more than it is the toy. The original toy had a visor. And it's not showing up on camera very well, unfortunately, here. But you can see he has painted blue eyes, and then a molded blue helmet, and then a nice painted red face, which seems to be the norm for breakdown, which is pretty cool. Alright. So, posability, his head is on a ball joint. Focus the camera here. There we are. Head on a ball joint, so we can look that much up, that much down, and he can do a full 360 transformation. He has ball jointed shoulders, and you can move this joint out if you want to unlock his arms. And then he has double jointed elbow, so he's got a ratchet, or a pseudo kind of smooth ratchet up here, and then he's a ball joint down here, which also results in a bicep swivel. Nothing at the wrists. He does have a waist joint. He has ball jointed hips, and they can move up and down as you choose. He does have a thigh swivel, and then he has about 90 degrees at the knee, and then his feet can pivot if you so choose, and so can the heel spurs, which are the spoilers for car mode. All in all, his posability is good, in my opinion. And again, we do have his weapons. We have, again, the combiner hand flip piece, which can be pegged into either hand as a gun, or shield if you so choose. But it can also be pegged into his back, which again will be the purpose, or will be for the purpose of Sunstreaker coming out. And you just peg it into his back like so, and it gives him Sunstreaker's engine block from behind look, which doesn't look bad, but Breakdown is not Sunstreaker, and thus I will not display him like that. Although it is nice for storage purposes. And then again, he has his gun blade weapon. Now, it can be held as a gun with this 5mm port here and hit. That port does not like going into either hand very well. It doesn't go in very far. But you do have that option, and I think of all the Decepticon weapons, this is the one that works best as a gun. Or you can peg it into his hand as a sword, which I think looks a lot better if I salute that silver blade. So that's cool. So for comparison in this mode, here he is next to Cybertron Starscream. You can see how they compare. And Starscream's a little bit taller at the head, but Breakdown is a good size, and he is quite bulky in hand. Another issue that people have with him is his hollowness. He does have this hollowness back here on his back, which accommodates the hand-foot gun, but it also accommodates his head that flips down when in all of his other modes. And then he has these hollow legs, which are just for transformation, because you bring his legs down upon themselves so that the thighs end up in here. So it is there, and when you do pose him, it is noticeable, but I don't think it's too bad. And you can see the wheel flipped in there. But unlike all the other Combiner Wars figures up to this point, with the exception of Dead End, who I have to review, he actually has, a chest piece over the combiner port. Instead of the combiner port of the chest, he has this piece over, which is nice. And again, this piece is very, very reminiscent of his chest in the Generation 1 cartoon. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, do I like Breakdown? Yes, I do. I really like his current mode, despite the fact that the back of it does not stay together very well. And both of his one modes are solid, if stocky in some cases. And his robot mode is nice too, despite the fact that it's oddly proportioned. That said, some of the issues, for lack of a better term, that I just listed may bother some of you, especially his oddly proportioned robot mode and his hollowness. There have been some quality control issues with him, especially in vehicle mode, but those don't bother me. And they're not anything that I think that would induce breakage. And plus, you do need to complete Metasaur, as he is an original member. I do think he is a strong figure regardless of his flaws, and I do like him better than I do the Dead End mold. Alright, this has been the video review for the Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Breakdown. I am Starscream 065. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.
Isn't my old pal Megatron?
Megatron.
Notice how much noise an insect makes, buzzing and clacking until you crush it underfoot? That's what you are, Megatron! A bug with a big mouth.